Hi, this demo is going to show you how to do a fantasy politics offline draft. Now there are a number of ways to actually reach the offline draft. First is that on a number of pages you'll see a countdown like this that shows you the time until your rosters are enabled. I can click here to draft offline. Another option is if I go to my league homepage, there's a note that says not sure what to do. Click here. This has a checklist of items that you may want to do. And I can click here to reach the offline draft, as well as here to see a tutorial about the offline draft. A final way to get there is to go to Commish Tools. See at the bottom left it says Offline Draft. I'm going to click here, and here you can see everyone who signed up for my league. Now something that's critical is that I created a league for 6 people, and all 6 people have signed up. Prior to doing the offline draft, I need to have everybody in my league sign up. If I don't have a full league, I won't be able to draft. Now I'm going to click on Draft League. This actually takes us to the offline draft page. Here we have a list of all of the teams in my league. And what I have to do during this draft process is draft a roster for each of these 6 teams. And more specifically, what that means is that for each team I have to have a full set of 5 incumbents, 3 sideline politicians, and 2 pundits. You can see who's an incumbent by the IN next to them, who's a sideline politician by the SP next to them, and who's a pundit by the P next to them. So, let's say that I wanted to start by drafting Al Sharpton, who is a pundit for FP domination. So he should end up down here. So I've highlighted him, then I'm clicking draft, and there he is. Now let's say I want to draft Ari Fleischer for Team Arnold. Again, he's a pundit, so he should appear down here. I've highlighted him, and now I'm clicking draft, and there he is. Now if I go back to FP domination, Al Sharpton is still on my team, and I can continue adding or dropping players from that team. Now let's say that I change my mind and I decide I don't want to have Al Sharpton on FP domination. I highlight him and click undraft, and he goes back into this list. So one thing to note here is that you can't draft a given political figure to more than one team. Only one team can have a given political figure. And that's basically how this process works. Now there are 3 ways that you can do an offline draft. First, you, as league creator, can simply draft rosters for every team in your league. Second, you can have every person in your league send you their prioritized pre-draft lists. These are lists of who they want to draft. So let's say that you've got 4 people in the league. Person A, Person B, Person C, and Person D. Let's say that you're Person A. You might choose your pick first. Then you could choose Person B's first choice second, as long as Person B's first choice wasn't who you had already picked. Then you might choose Person C's first pick, as long as it's not someone that someone else had already chosen, and so on. This goes on until all of the rosters are filled. The third option is very similar to option 2, except that everyone gets together in person or over the phone to make their picks. This is called a draft party. Under all of these different options, you, as the league creator, league commissioner, are the person who's actually doing the physical drafting. You're the one who's doing the mechanics of moving, for instance, Andrew Sullivan, Ann Coulter, Arnold Schwarzenegger over onto those teams. And only once you have finished drafting for every single roster should you go down here and click Finish Offline Draft. If you haven't finished drafting for all of the rosters, it won't let you finish the draft. After you draft, the league and gameplay will begin on the league start date that you set. I hope this is helpful. Thanks, and have fun.